back on the field of 68. How we doing, Coach Miles?
I'm doing.
Giving him tips?
I didn't know the field of 68 still existed.
Got it folded after you?
Yeah. I mean, like,
It
let's just
expanded.
face it. This thing would be, you'd still be working in your mom's basement if it wasn't for old Timmy Miles and bringing
The
this
Miles
thing.
pod.
Well, you really did help us in that first year. You gave us a little bit of name credibility, and I told the story
don't
yesterday
lie.
about how you walked through the hotel with the beers in your backpack. I told that story.
Yeah,
that was
with
great.
True.
Nico.
That was classic.
Great story. And to show our appreciation and in honor of your affinity of Coors Lights in bags, Carter Elliott has a gift for you over
Oh,
here.
boy.
Yep.
All we
This
do
is
is
some good
is
stuff.
give out alcohol here. That's all we do.
Anybody's watching, just come
great.
on down.
Mike
We'll give you
Young gets a
something.
high-class premium brew.
Yes, 'cause-
and look at this.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
You're
about right
Coors Light,
there.
baby.
We're going to have those mountains blue by the end of the night.
Oh.
I know how to do that. Thank
Taking-
you so much.
Yeah,
That's
you
so
got-
generous.
We got a full bag of Coors Lights
so
over here for
I
you.
I would put that in my own bag, and I would, like, you have to understand, when you buy a high-quality bag as a coach, you're thinking, like, I got to put this in an airplane, I got to kick it under the seat in front of me. I might have to carry a six-pack of Coors Light and put some ice on it and snuggle it up to in
What
to go
kind
see
of
Salt
bag
Village.
was that, though, that it was leaking like that?
Well,
What
I think
did
I
you
had too
get?
much ice. I think you guys talked too much. You guys have melted in your
I
midst.
mean, come on. We talk too much?
Yeah. The Final Four stories, folks, are really good. High level
Plenty.
fun.
They're plenty. Where were we walking a few years ago? We were trudging. Was that in Minneapolis? Remember?
Probably.
We were going to like some, I don't know. It was like,
Was that we were going to a little
it
restaurant?
was
a little
Saul.
spot?
Yeah, it was Saul. It was your whole crew.
Let me tell you about that Final Four. I was chafed right here because I just got fired in Nebraska, and everybody's like, "Hey, coach, hang in there." They hit you. I mean, everybody was just like, "Okay, enough of the hitting. I'm fine. All right, we're gonna be okay." I got the field of 68 right around
That's
the
right.
corner.
You knew. You were. It was all lined up
No.
for you, and we got you. We got you the job.
You guys
We took care of
really,
you.
essentially,
Right.
yeah.
I mean,
kept
we're
me
like a
afloat.
search firm.
I know you are.
I mean, we are basically
Your
a search
cut's
firm.
way
now.
better.
What's our percentages right now in
Nothing.
terms of
we don't charge right now.
No, I'm saying like of guys that came on the show
100%.
Oh, no.
after losing their job. How many are working again?
right? Arch,
4 for 4.
Sean.
Steve Prohm,
Steve Pro.
That's right,
Right.
Steve.
Timmy Miles
4 for 4.
Timmy Miles.
And
Timmy
Frank
Miles
Martin
and
came
Frank
on,
Martin.
and he got a job that night.
on the
about
show.
that?
He got
Right.
while
That's
we were
five.
live. He
You
got
think
the
that's
job.
Finalized his
five.
contract that night.
You know what I got? I got Manscaped. I got Manscaped.
Yeah.
That light is, I will tell you, the little light on the
Do
thing.
you think you could still read that Manscaped ad? Could you
What-
do
what
it?
I
brought-
can hardly do
You
it.
brought
the
it up
first
right now. Would you want to?
I get, I get. They're not. If they maybe,
So good.
help me out with a little NIL, Coach Miles.
I was going to ask
maybe
you,
I'll-
back in the day, when you were your player's age, if you could have done any NIL deal, what would Tim Miles have been doing?
Well, any pizza company in the world. I mean, because I'm a pizza freak. If it's got dough and sauce and cheese, I'm in, right? I mean, you don't get this size by accident. And so I would have been the pizza guy, the dough
pizza
boy,
guy.
the whatever you want to be.
Deep
yeah.
dish or thin?
Yeah, exactly. Why would I put myself in a corner and not allow, like, I'm going to eat deep dish. I'm going to eat thin.
Everything.
Like, I mean, I'm going to fold it over.
Pizza's pizza, do you?
Pizza's pizza. Yeah, I don't think you can. I think
don't know
you're
if I can
not a
support
real
this
connoisseur
take.
unless you
This is not a Dowsker thing.
try. You're not a pizza guy.
I love pizza, but I don't think deep dish is pizza.
It's
cal-
a meal.
it's-
It's like
Yeah.
it is. It's a little different, Miles.
It's an open-faced calzone. You know?
I mean, so you're kind of a pizza snob, like a
yeah. You know what it is? It's tomato and cheese quiche.
Yeah, but hold the
That's
phone
what-
for a
that's what
second.
this is.
No. Hold the phone.
Fancy, you better bring up what I think you're about to bring up.
He's the same guy.
You better bring up what you're
That's
about
the
to
only
bring
way
up.
this guy's gonna be on this show.
Wait a minute, Coach.
Great.
It does look good, doesn't it?
Coach, hold on a second. You're calling him a pizza snob. It's the same guy who said he'd put ketchup with a cinnamon raisin bagel.
No, that's not.
He did not say that.
Oh, yes,
I
he
did not
did.
say
Yes, he did.
What I
He
said,
also said Carolina could beat an NBA team. How about that?
Okay. Hey, how did I miss that episode? I
Yeah,
mean,
that was yesterday.
So, you're really gonna put ketchup on that?
out of everything that we just said, I'm glad that that's the one that you were most concerned about. No, so this was the conversation. Okay, we had Isaiah Wong, Jersey kid, I was told to ask him about putting ketchup on his cinnamon raisin egg and cheese sandwiches. It's not just taking a cinnamon raisin bagel and putting ketchup on it. It's when you make your bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich or your sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich, and you use a cinnamon raisin bagel or a salt bagel or whatever. It doesn't matter what the sandwich, the breading is. I'm going to dip that in ketchup.
But here's the thing. I have a question from the back. I got a question from the
We have a
back.
question from
I
the
have a question from the producer. So my question is, so at one point there has to be some ketchup on the bagel that has raisin in it. So at one point you are eating just ketchup and cinnamon raisin bagel.
Exactly.
That's disgusting. That's
Exactly.
disgusting. That's
Right.
No.
And that's okay with him.
It's
That's
like,
gross.
yeah, it's like
Look
when
at him.
you.
Like he's
but
insulted that we haven't talked
why
about
does
it.
Why does a raisin work well with melted cheese?
This
So-
is like if you set a curfew.
Well, first of all,
for your
I'm in
kids,
the thing.
and
should
you were
never
like,
put a bacon
guys,
in
it's
cheese.
11:30, and they came back at 11:41. Well, Dad, it wasn't midnight, but it was still past 11:30. That's what the cinnamon raisin bagel and the ketchup are.
But how does a cinnamon raisin bagel
right,
make
let's
sense
go.
with a
Let's
bacon
Let's
and
talk
cheese?
basketball. Here, I have a question. I have a basketball
Anna,
question
come
for you.
on.
I'm ready.
You were at Nebraska. Now at San Jose State. And the nation, the people that are watching this show, I don't think understand what it takes. What it takes to do the job day in, day out, and what it takes from your staff. Tell us what people don't understand about what your staff's doing at San Jose State right now to resurrect a program. What staffs go through at the mid-major level?
Yeah, I think that, the first and foremost is,
First and foremost, Mountain West is not a mid-major. Carry on. I got that in there for you.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
got that in there for you.
Mid-major plus plus.
Yeah, exactly.
right.
Right. You get the question, though.
So
Four bid league.
there's a couple different things. Every job has its own issues this way. Like, so if I'm in the Big Ten and I'm at Nebraska, I'm not recruiting. I'm sitting there and I'm Tom Izzo, right? So I'm in the same gym, and Coach Izzo, all he's doing is complaining that he can't recruit the same guys that Kentucky and North Carolina and Duke, right? So we all have our, you're kind of slotted in there, right? Of where you fall in the terms of capturing the interest of a recruit and his family, this, that, and the other thing. So what are my guys doing right now? One is trying to identify. I think the hardest thing about recruiting is it would be the due diligence thing. So imagine this, that I can go out and watch a kid play and see his talent and his skill, how athletic he is, how easy he moves, what his skill level is. There's a few things that you got to pick apart later, like his ability to pass and make a decision and stuff like that. But really, it doesn't take long to look at and evaluate a huge piece of the puzzle. And a lot of people, that's where they begin and end. That kid is a bucket. That kid really scores. He's a super whatever. But unless you have a kid that's got a high basketball IQ and a guy that's got high character, like he's got initiative, he's a self-starter, you're not going to work for me. You've got to have some certain things. So now how you dig in and find out that information. I don't think you can do it unless you get in their environment, in their turf, and figure that out.
How many times a day are you looking at the portal?
I've never,
he
how about
won't.
this?
He
I
doesn't
have
even know how
never
to
opened
log
the
in.
portal.
Right. But he's
My
got
son
how many
is
guys?
17. And he's got to track me today, and 3 times during the track meet, he's hit me with verbal commits. Hey, this kid's in the portal. I'm like, you're not on the payroll. Well, you
Focus on
are
the
on the payroll. Let's
He is
recheck that.
right. Indirectly, he's on the payroll.
Yeah, but I mean, they're in it, and I don't even. I mean, like there's names that come by every day, and there's probably 3 or 4 names that I'll sit down and watch. This morning I had 2 Zooms. I watched another 2 different kids on Synergy just to make that quick evaluation.
Don't hit Mike. Don't
yeah,
knock
sorry.
over Mike.
Yeah.
You'll never be
To,
invited back.
I'd never do that to Mike. So, Mike, I had I was in Las Vegas, and I was staying at the Wynn, okay?
Yep.
And USA Basketball, it's a big spot, right? So I walk in there, and I forget who I'm with, like Craig Smith, I think I was with, and Mike Krzyzewski in the back with some of the big wheelers and
Heavy
dealers,
hitters,
right? Yeah. So I ordered the gnocchi, right? And so Coach Krzyzewski's walking out, and he says, "Hey, what'd you order, Coach?" I said, "I had the gnocchi, right? Gnocchi." And I said, he goes, "So did I. Add the Italian sausage."
Ooh.
And he walks out, right? So I get my server over here. I said, "Hey, you know who that guy was?" Yeah.
Give me the Italian
So he
sausage.
just told me, I don't want the chef mad or anything like that. All right, can I get Italian sausage in there? We'll see if we can make it happen. I got extra Italian sausage. It was phenomenal. C.J. Moore.
C.J. Moore.
C.J. Moore in the house.
He fired me from the Athletic after 1 year.
Yeah, because you were so bad on the
No, you know what? No, you know what it was.
It's true.
You,
That
you
is
know,
true.
I was-
Sam, you know what it was.
I was good, and the producer was good.
He wanted he wanted you to come. He wanted to take mine to Miles. That's what it was.
We
So when
were
I
worried.
said,
Do you want to
We
give
were
him a chance to
worried.
I
speak
think
for
I
himself?
I said you shouldn't be second fiddle.
right.
You need to be the star.
That's right.
We've kept that trademark.
You need to be the
Tim
star.
Miles Basketball Enterprises has kept that
The Mind of
trademark.
Miles?
Yeah, inside the Mind of
Hey,
inside
what-
the
have
Mind
you
of Miles.
What in the Mountain West? Listen, in the Mountain West, is there a huge disparity between resources? Obviously, we know San Diego State has a lot. The most. How significant is the difference when you're talking about the haves and the have-nots?
I'd say
You know yet?
there's a couple teams in the lower tier.
Yeah.
There's a few in the upper, and I think the Boise, Colorado State, Wyoming's making progress with what they're doing. New Mexico's New Mexico. I think once the pandemic kind of gets behind everybody and the pit fills up again and the budget goes up again, I think that
It's
will
your
be a
boy,
better
by
thing.
the way. You and Richard Pitino
Richard.
reunited again in the
Yep.
Mountain West.
Thank God for Richard. Or
he-
I wouldn't have got on the board this year.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
No, we were bound to get somebody, but
But
the odds
it was
are
good that it was Richard.
Yeah, it was fine. I'd be happy beating Nico.
Doesn't matter.
Or Leon,
I know.
or, or Dutch.
Nico kicked your ass, didn't he?
Oh my God!
Right?
It was over from the and then he was still like pressing and throwing lobs at the
Good
end.
for him.
You know,
Good
and
for
I
him.
and I love Nico. And I heard him telling stories last night. Man, he's got a little Joe Biden in him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Hey man, the deal. Now
I never thought I'd hear Nico Medved has some Joe Biden in
he's
him.
got a little Joe Biden in him. Yeah.
So we've actually given him a microphone here. You want to speak for yourself? Did you?
I didn't hear what was he saying.
So we were just talking about the Miles More Madness podcast, and now defunct. I think
What happened?
it says what happened.
They canceled us.
It's still in my Spotify favorites.
Yeah, mine too. Mine too.
How many episodes?
Yeah, how many did you do?
I'd say we did probably 20.
20.
We did a lot.
We worked, man. We
It's a
worked.
lot of
We did
miles.
We worked.
at least once a week. It's
a lot of miles.
Sometimes twice.
What
It's
are
a
we
lot
doing?
of miles.
Twice a week?
There were times where we did twice.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
You must have been
I
bored.
had some guests on there, didn't I? Bring some guests
We
on.
got some guests on. Yeah. We had some
Miles
good ones. I
started
can't
strong
even
with
remember,
us,
but we had
guess
some good
wise.
ones.
Miles started strong, but by the end,
At the end, I called my sister like, "Hey, can you get on, Karen, Paula, Kelly, one of you guys?"
We had Gene Taylor at one point.
We did.
in Gene Taylor's house.
We did Gene Taylor in Gene Taylor's house. Basically, got Jerome Tang hired. I think.
no Bill Moose, though, right?
Who?
No Bill Booth. No.
What a guy. There they are. Strengths
he's
and
found
weaknesses.
them.
Kevin Pagua.
Wow.
Metrics.
Paga.
There you go. I think
Paga,
This is
yeah.
thrilling.
He knows who he is.
Thrilling radio.
On it,
All right. How far can these talking offense?
Well, you got Scott Drew on.
Yeah, we had Scott Drew on.
Scott Drew.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it.
We had some polls.
Pretty good. Yeah, thanks.
I mean, I don't know
Very
that
nice.
Scott Drew would have been able to win a national championship
Without
if he didn't get
Well,
on
I
Miles
think
More
it all adds
Madness.
up, right? It
Yeah.
all adds up.
All adds up for sure.
People like.
His career really turned once he came on our show.
Okay, we did another anecdote with Ken Palmer. Ken Palmer
Yeah,
was on it.
he came on. Tim
better
yelled at
hair
him
now.
about
You
his
see his hair now?
What's he doing?
I don't know if it was like this when you did. His hair is like down to like here.
He's lost his mind.
Total hippie now.
COVID.
When you live in Wyoming, nobody really sees you.
Yeah.
So
That's
it
true.
doesn't really
Doesn't he
matter.
live in Salt Lake now?
Oh, maybe he does.
Yeah, somewhere around
He
there.
went
I
to
don't know.
Wyoming.
Somewhere.
Isn't that
We're
all the
tracking
same?
Ken
meteorology.
Pomeroy's
To
movements.
me in Boston, it's all the same out there.
Oh.
How is Boston?
Boston's good. Well, it will be when I get home. When
I mean, yeah,
it's
when's
more
the
than
last time you were
32
home?
degrees. I was
know-
home a couple days.
Here's what I say.
can't
I
all
think
be
my
tan
wife
like
likes
you.
March.
By the way, it's always every recruit who's listening right now. I'm sure you're still with us.
San
So let's
Jose.
just get to the point.
Right.
The land of San Jose, milk and honey. Look at all. I mean, like.
You've never
I
looked
mean,
better.
You should
That's
see how
right.
pale I was in Nebraska.
Oh, he looked like
Awful.
crap in Nebraska.
Looked like I was.
He
ragged.
couldn't even walk without tripping in Nebraska.
I look ill all the
Now,
time.
look at you. You can skip. You can
I know.
jump.
It's,
you can,
my mood is way better.
It is way
Vitamin
better.
D over
It
and
is.
over and over.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But I'm just happy that we're still propping up the field of 68. And
We are.
You guys have managed to stay in business.
without you.
both
Without you.
the
Probably
Athletic
the biggest upset
and
we've ever had.
Did we lose?
the Phil 68 have overcome Tim Miles
I
to still survive.
That's the headline.
Okay, enough of the
All right,
truth.
so hey, for this Final Four, all the big boys.
Yeah, how about that?
Is this good, or do we need a little bit of a? I'm calling Carolina Cinderella. They're getting pissed at it, but they kind of are in the grand scheme of things here. Right, they're an 8 seed. Is this good, or do we need one team that might?
Well, I mean, can you imagine St. Peter's making it? Can you just let
would
that
have been
run
cool.
there?
Like, it would have been amazing on one hand, but
could have been a crappy game.
Could have been ugly on the
Right.
other.
Yeah.
Right. So you're like, what do you want? You know.
I want great games.
And Duke and Carolina are downplaying the rivalry 100% today.
We all know that
Right.
nobody wants. Well, somebody's going to lose this game. Their season's going to end here, and they're going to think it's a failure of a season.
Yeah,
Right? I mean,
well said.
I mean, Carolina shouldn't, because again, the expectations for them in the middle of the year were, let's just make the tournament.
Right.
So, but you're right, you lose to Duke, and then if K wins the whole thing,
I think as long as they don't get crushed, I think if it's
They're
a close
okay.
game,
Yeah.
I think they got to be okay.
I don't know.
But the other thing is, if you're Duke, like, look at the dynamic of Mike Krzyzewski losing back-to-back games to North Carolina
Be a tough way to go out.
to cap off his career.
Yeah. I was at the West Regional in the Chase Center in San Francisco, and I was stunned that Duke has lost as many games as they have. Like,
so
I mean, they're
talented.
so talented.
yeah.
They've
Well,
got
you saw a good point guard play Duke.
when Roach
That's the
plays,
other
you go.
number 3,
Right,
right? When
right.
Roach plays,
Yeah.
like I'm just
They're
like,
hard to
I don't know
beat.
how you beat them.
How was the atmosphere there?
It's great. That's a really cool building. It's really
it's a great building.
great building.
We were there right before the pandemic
Yeah.
with my daughter, and awesome.
It's such a cool
Oh,
building. It's got
Big
great
time.
sight lines, and it holds noise, and it's really good.
I mean-
NBA arena's not always that way either, you know.
You're so good at talking about, and this is what you did for us last year, is talk about the overall state of the sport. So Mark Emmert talked earlier, and
Oh boy, I missed it?
Yeah, right. Well, you didn't miss much.
bad.
To be candid, he didn't take any accountability. He put things on Congress. He put things on the schools. I'm curious, Tim, as a coach in this sport, if you were in that type of position, if you, let's say we made you college basketball commissioner for a day,
Right.
What,
Pull it out. Yeah, that's what he would do.
what would you what would
Coors
you
Light
try
for
to do?
everybody.
What would be on your agenda in the sport?
Well, I would want to get a handle on name, image, likeness, really. And because here's what I don't like about name, image, likeness. And let's face it, there's collectives out there or whatever it is. But how do you manage that it's not a recruiting inducement? It's almost impossible to differentiate that, I think. But second of all, is that, okay, so I've got a kid that's been with me for 3 years, and he's now my sixth man or my fifth starter. And a recruit comes in, gets a great deal through this collective, all legal, right? All fine. Everything's checking every box, right? Well, you know, okay, now that kid is getting, let's just say, $10,000, like for a men's basketball player, something like that. Not but a fairly significant amount of money. And here's this guy who's literally doesn't come from much and doesn't have much and now doesn't have anything, and he's playing better than this kid over and over and over.
Yeah.
You tell me there's not going to be some animosity there
I've
somehow?
said this, and coaches
I don't like it.
prior to the season were like, no, it's not going to be an issue, this, that, and the other. But I think you're right, when it
I'm sure nobody wants to talk about it.
Can you explain to people that are watching this what the collective is now, what schools are trying to do?
Yeah.
Go
So,
ahead.
from what I understand,
Yep.
right? So, a collective is a thing where, as a coach, we can't organize anything, but we might have a company or a business or somebody to come up and say, hey, we'd like to be part of a collective. And there are companies out there running collectives. They sign agreements with student athletes, and they go out and solicit, you know, Manscaped to try and
Whoever.
get, you know,
Yeah.
whoever it might be. It might be the old public parking building right there. The guy that owns that,
Yep.
TMBC
Or
LLC.
it could be here. It could,
Huge
could
San
be
Jose
Gordon
station.
Biersch.
Gordon
Yeah,
Biersch.
Gordon
Which, by the way,
Biersch.
we're live
Gordon
from Gordon
Biersch.
Biersch.
Right.
Come see us.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right, exactly.
And so here we are. We do it, and they throw 10,000 in or whatever it is.
They could give Hunter Dickinson to come down here, right?
Do
You
a
know,
public appearance,
yes,
a personal appearance.
exactly.
He could do
That's right.
autographs.
Yep,
He can do an NFT.
And you're not supposed to be involved in this,
We're not.
but
I mean,
you can have a collective that a third party almost that could do it.
they're supposed to. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
The collective and the third party is supposed to negotiate
Be
all
able
that.
to do it all.
But what happens are, let's say these companies come and they want a certain person.
Yeah, they'll go-
right.
they'll go
and
straight
all
to
we
you.
can do is refer. Like you.
Right,
You have
and
to talk to
there's the
these
point.
guys.
Like, how are you not involved? Of
You're
course
gonna
you're
be.
involved in
Yeah.
it.
They're
We,
gonna
we,
be,
we
but-
have to stop acting like in college sports that stuff isn't how it actually is. It's all same old song and dance. The fact is, coaches are going to be involved.
And they
Right.
should,
And
but
you
shouldn't
want
they
them
be?
to be.
Honestly,
Should they be?
they
They
should
should
be able to
be.
disperse how they want
They
it.
should
Well,
be.
the other part is,
Because then it's on them. Then,
And
then,
you're
then you
looking
can go to
out-
the kids and say, "Hey, I made these calls.
well, otherwise
you
the
got to answer to the."
agents,
Bingo.
the agents are going after these kids and taking advantage of them. Now, I know not every coach is going to be for the best interests of the kid, but if you feel like some agent is going after a kid and giving him 20%, you're going to give me 20%. Well, you're going to tell the kid, no, you don't sign with them. You should
Yeah,
be
so-
involved to some extent.
You want to give you parental advice,
Right,
like
right.
anything, right?
Yeah.
You want to be a parent in the room. You want to say, if you look out at this long-term interest, what's best for you and your brand and everything that goes with that? You want that. I mean, to me, I just worry about, you look at a football team, okay?
Yep.
Which I just gave you my 3-year guy who's just starting. What about a football team where a high recruit can come in, he gets a deal,
Yep.
and 4 guys are in front of him.
Right.
One could be a walk-on. I mean, like, how do you manage that
Well,
as a coach?
Michigan has a walk-on, Adrian Nunez, who's got like 1 million TikTok followers, him and his girlfriend. So he makes more money than Hunter Dickinson. Not even close. Not even close.
Good for him.
Right.
How?
Well, he got with the right girl.
Step your game up, Hunter.
There's a talent to that. There's something to be said about that.
Absolutely. I'm sure if people would say that about you with your wife, right?
My daughter's here, by the way. She's
I
out
know.
here hanging
Where is
out.
she now?
Ava Grace.
Ava, what's up?
She's got to negotiate.
Ava, do you want to come on and tell a story about your dad? Do you have a good story? Have a good
She
story
loses
about
her mind,
your
she
You
said.
still have the
right.
dog, right?
Ava's
Sammy
not
the
gonna
dog?
tell
Sammy the
story.
dog.
Yep, Sammy the dog and my son and my wife are back in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Aren't they coming
And
in?
that's where Sammy is. They're coming tomorrow morning.
All right, there you
He's
go.
done with that 200-meter dash. I got to check the results.
Won
see
the
how they
heat.
did.
Got the heat.
One is heat.
One is heat.
You can only control. You got to control what you can control.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Right?
Tip Miles once told me that old Timmy could really do some things in the track and field.
Yeah.
No.
He was very proud of Tim's track
So
and
I got
field
my
skills.
times out for my son. I'm like, well, we used to run in tennis shoes. I looked at the times. I'm like, oh, I wasn't that fast. He's going way
But
fast.
the equipment is so much better today.
Yeah, well, it's all technology.
It's
the
all
tracks are
technology.
better.
The clothes, you were wearing like cotton. It was so heavy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wore socks to some meets because I was cold. By the way, Dolan, South Dakota, the home of the Wheelers.
Nice.
Dolan
I had to
Wheelers.
run in 4 feet of snow.
All right.
All right,
Listen,
Coach.
Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. Go take
like,
your
I
daughter
want a
to a
good clip.
good meal.
Don't NIL me and make me look bad on your clip.
No.
No, go if you want.
I want-
Listen, if you want some NIL money, go to San Jose State. I mean, Timmy
you talk
Miles
about
is
it.
going to deliver for you.
You talk
He
about
won't. He won't.
No.
But the collective will.
And if
Yeah.
better yet, if you're a business,
That's right.
they would
That's
like
right.
to take up a
Absolutely.
good cause.
Look
Cooler
at you.
Lights.
Look at you. You're
Coors
running
Lights.
out with that.
I mean,
We tell you Coors Light, and you ran over here.
dude, I broke a sweat.
I know you did.
We are the spot. We are in Silicon Valley. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
if I'm a player, I'm like there.
All right. Thanks for stopping
Thanks,
by.
Coach Miles. Good to
Tim
see
Miles,
you,
head
Miles.
coach, San Jose State.
How are you?